Love. There's one time I heard this one saying where it said the greatest way of showing love is through actions. Is that what that said? The greatest way that God was able to show us his love towards us was when he sacrificed his son for our sins. Oh, thank you. He loved us so much that he was willing to sacrifice his own child for us. What better way to show someone that you love them by sacrificing something of your own so that they can benefit off of it? I don't know about you guys, but I want to be able to love like that, where I'm willing to give up my stuff for anyone, really. But we can't do it alone. God calls us to go up to him, to ask for him help, his help. Him help. What am I talking about? God calls us to go to him, to ask him for help. He's literally the source of all love. I get like, if some people, they'll be like, I'm not going to go to God to learn how to love. And believe me, I was there too. One of my friends, I told him how like my life was all messed up and I wasn't in the best spot. And he was like, take it to God. And I was like, I have all of this going on in my life and you're asking me to pray to God for help? If this is God's love, then I don't want any of it. But then as I grew with God, I slowly started to learn we're putting God's love into our own human standards when none of that can be compared to what he offers. We can't comprehend how much he loves us. I was not close to him. If you looked at me, you'd probably be like, there's no way this guy will turn to God. But no, I'm not trying to guilt trip you into doing it or force you into doing it. But I would say definitely give it a shot. See what happens. This is a little crazy story. It was, I think, Tuesday, right? So before I went off to school, I usually grab my pencils, right? I had two pencils. One over here, the red one, and the other one over here, the green one. I got one of them. I put it in my pocket because that's where I keep my pencils. Don't ask why. But as I was about to leave my room, I heard a small little voice telling me to take the other pencil. And I was like, I know that's definitely from God. God's definitely telling me that. But I wanted to take it for a test, right? So I left the pencil. Stay with me now, stay with me. During sixth period, like literally the kid next to me, he's like, yo, does anyone have a pencil? The minute he said that, I was like, no way, bro. This is literally what God told me earlier, which really says a lot because he literally could speak through us in the smallest ways. It doesn't have to be such a huge thing, but that's a little side story. But I would say just give him a shot. See what happens. Let me know what happens. Aside from all that, I don't know about you guys, but I want to know how to love someone despite all they might do. But I can't do it. I need God, you know? Anytime that I'm curious about something, I turn to God. I'm going to ask him, how do I show how to love? And in 1 Corinthians 14, 4 through 8, he talks about how love is patient, love is kind. It does not hold record of wrong or something like that. I'll put it up on the screen. But all I could say is loving other people is tough. Like, I'm not going to lie. I want to love others, but I'm not going to lie. Some of them do get on my nerves. It just shows just how much I really need God, you know? It really shows just how weak I am. And it really just helps me to turn more to him. Don't be afraid to turn to him. I get that you'd think that he'd be like angry at you, pointing fingers at you. But he doesn't. I would say go with him with prayer. You don't even have to use big words. You can just talk like how I'm talking to you guys right now. There's also another verse where, before I start, I'm gonna put up on the screen right here, somewhere around here. The verse talks about how you can have all the spiritual gifts that you might need, but if you don't have love in there, you're nothing. It's tough, you know, being able to love other people. Some way that I do it is imagine, what would Jesus do? When we read about how he treated other people, we learned that he basically loved everybody, despite all the wrong that he might do. Which is low-key pretty good, because then people are gonna get curious on how you're able to love someone, even if like they're your enemy or something like that. But another thing that really plays a crucial thing in my head is I put myself in their shoes. What's the best way that, if I were them, what's the best way that I would want someone to love me? You don't even have to speak words to show them that you love them. Something that I've found to really be helpful to someone is just being there for them. If they're crying about something, you cry with them. But yet again, there are times when talking is necessary. I would say you're gonna know when to not speak or when to just stay quiet and just be there for them. You guys all probably heard about like how it's the thought that counts. Really think about that. The other day I was watching this video on Instagram where this guy, he made a whole bouquet. He bought like a whole like 3 bouquets or something like that. I can't really recall what happened, but he took his time to really separate all the flowers. But he really took his time to separate the flowers to make it look nice. And it really had me thinking, it really is the thought that counts. The more effort you put into something, it really shows just how much time you're willing to take time out of your day to think about them and do something for them. To end the video, I just want to say, turn to God. Turn to God. Go as you are. You don't have to perfect yourself before going to Him. You know how like a patient that is sick goes to the doctor? They're sick. They know that they need help. So they go to the doctor. They don't try to fix themselves before going to the doctor, because that wouldn't make sense. That's basically the same thing with God. You don't have to clean yourself up and then go to Him. You go to Him and He'll clean you up. Yet again, it's free will. You could either do it or not. It's all up to you. That's another way of showing love. He was willing to give us free will to really choose what we would want, to either be separate from Him or to be close to Him. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it if you made it this far. I'll try to start posting again, but I can't promise that. And till next time.